The most expensive thing you will ever buy is something you will never see on a receipt. And almost everyone that can will be bought it, right? Let me prove it to you. What do you believe is the most expensive thing you have ever bought? That you never paid cash for. You've got 5 seconds to think about it and write it down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, time's up. And by the way, it's not your house, not your car, not even that yacht, not the vacation flying first class, not the gold watch, none of that. It's comfort. Yes, comfort. Today we're going to talk about how expensive comfort is. A purchase so costly, it quietly puts one's future on a payment plan without ever sending you an invoice. And the most dangerous part is most people don't realize the cumulative damage that comfort causes. Excessive pursuit of comfort. My name is Bertrand Maimon. I've spent roughly 20 years in executive leadership, finance, business strategy, and audit. And I've seen the endless pursuit of comfort quietly destroy potential at so many different levels: households, businesses, ministries. Today, you will learn the one hack that will help you break free from the hypnosis of endlessly pursuing comfort so you can make room for a future focused on legacy. Let's dig in. Do you remember that friend who was doing extremely well financially and then suddenly things got tight? After a big raise or a season of great business deals, they decided to upgrade their lifestyle. A family of 5 moves from a 3-bedroom home to a 7-bedroom home with a pool. The reliable Camry becomes a Yukon and a Mercedes SUV, maybe a Ferrari on the side for date night, right? Every room gets new furniture. The backyard, that becomes a resort, and suddenly household expenses jump from $7,000 a month to $15,000 a month. That's not building a future, that's financing comfort. Then one day the job is lost, big contracts disappear, but the $15K per month lifestyle, that's still waiting on you every month, knocking on the door. How about that CEO that went on a spending spree after a season of great profits? New office lease, luxury furniture, flashy marketing, expensive hires, company vehicles, corporate credit cards, country club memberships, Dallas Cowboys private suite for client entertainment, creme de la creme. And then the season changes, revenues begin to slow down, and suddenly the business is borrowing money just to make payroll, all because too much was spent financing comfort. You've seen this story too. That preacher who starts humbly, preaching out of their apartment, preaching out of their home, preaching out of the school building, school cafeteria, preaching out of hotel conference rooms. The message is sharp, doctrine uncompromised, and then money starts to flow in. The pastor's house gets bigger, car collection grows, private jets appear, mega expansions begin, and suddenly financial pressure starts influencing the message. Lines become blurred between church funds and pastoral stipends, all because too much was spent financing comfort. And what was every one of these chasing? Comfort. If comfort was your response to the question at the beginning of this video, type genius in the comments. If not, share what you wrote, because you quickly see that you're not alone. Comfort is the silent purchase we make when we start upgrading our lifestyles beyond necessity. Right? It's when we invest more in looking successful and becoming sustainably stable. Comfort quietly replaces discipline, and it begins to charge interest, significant interest, interest through debt, interest through missed opportunities, interest through investments we never made. Think about it this way. What could your future look like if the time, money, and energy had been carefully invested in systems that generate future returns, while embracing modest standards of living now? If you always choose comfort, you start to rent out your future. Your future becomes a bill, but the reality is discomfort is where character is built. If you look back over your life, think about it. Your greatest growth probably came after a season of discomfort, of struggle, true or false. Think about King David and King Solomon. Let's consider King David first. King David was chosen as king, but he didn't inherit the palace immediately. He didn't inherit the throne right away. First, he faced lions, bears, Goliath, betrayal, exile, war, lived in caves. Nothing about David's early life looked like that of a king. And David had opportunity to choose early comfort. He had a chance to kill King Saul, who occupied the promised throne. That would have been convenient for David. That would have accelerated his journey to the throne, but spiritual discipline restrained him. David allowed adversity to build his character. And even when he eventually fell, into sin with Uriah's wife, he faced the discomfort of repentance and its consequences. And that humility restored his future. Many years of hardship built discipline that allowed David to establish a legacy that was remembered for thousands of years. David, as he dies, gives his son King Solomon a powerful piece of advice: to watch how he lives. King Solomon, on the other hand, he inherited the throne almost immediately after being chosen as king. He inherited peace because Israel was not at war at the time, and he was given wisdom and gifted wealth. Too easy. Comfort from day one. Then he started marrying women from forbidden territories. And then he formed alliances with pagan nations. That comfort created complacency in King Solomon. The comfort, it created compromise. It made him careless, right? His heart started to drift, and the man who began with wisdom ended with a life writing, a book filled with lamenting. Meaningless, everything is meaningless, he writes. Think about that. The man who had everything comfort could buy ended up feeling empty. Comfort weakened his vigilance. Comfort diluted his obedience. Too much comfort. It made him look powerful externally, but he was internally restless. And most importantly, all that wealth that King Solomon accumulated was lost to neighboring strangers. The legacy did not survive. Comfort literally cost him everything. You should ask yourself this question: are you building like David or drifting like Solomon? Pursuing comfort. This is what pursuing comfort looks like. You're avoiding discipline in your finances, taking those trips that you can afford, making purchases you can't afford, avoiding discipline in your marriage. You get too comfortable, so you become careless with your attitude and language towards your spouse. Familiarity breeds comfort. You're avoiding discipline in your health. You choose to eat, drink, party, and sleep with most of your spare time. You're avoiding discipline in your spiritual life. Missing out on the foundation of faith. Very important. That helps you develop a balanced approach to your decision making, right? Comfort whispers, you deserve this. You've worked hard. You need to look the part. But here's the uncomfortable truth and the secret to being free. Nobody really cares. That luxury house, that luxury car, it might impress people for a moment, but then the world moves on while you're stuck paying the bill. You ever heard of Cornelius Vanderbilt, one of the richest men in America? His wealth would be over $100 billion today. But who remembers his mantras? Who remembers his art collections? All gone. Nobody cares. History remembers impact, not comfort. Your children remember you for the lessons you taught them through your lifestyle, not the money you left in the bank. You can lose that money, all of it, in 3 decisions, no matter how much it is. The people you lead at the office, in society, they will remember you for the difference you made, not how good you look. Look up the most globally recognized names in history over a span of centuries. You wouldn't see many billionaires or financiers on that list. You'll see people who influenced faith, science, culture, and society. When you free yourself from chasing excess comfort, you begin to embrace building impact. You begin building for legacy, and this matters at all levels, no matter how small. That widow or widower who had to raise 9 children, making sacrifices to provide them with an education they did not have, that's legendary. Great leaders are not built through comfort. They're built in the wilderness. They're built in storms. They're built in the desert. They are built through challenges, a bit of discomfort. So if you're in a season of pressure, whether in your business, marriage, in your faith walk, don't be in a rush to pray for comfort. Pray rather for character, that your character may be built up. If you're always looking for comfort, you will sell your future for free. Now, what profit does that bring a man? But if you discipline your desire for comfort, you learn to make sacrifice today and build a future that changes more than just your life. Now, let me leave you with these 3 questions. Ask yourself this: what am I building? Who am I building it for? And why does it matter? If you feel stuck in a financial loop created by an addiction to comfort, email admin@mustardbeach.com and let's see how we can help you get the numbers right. If you run a household, pursue career growth, or build a business, you are a leader. This channel helps you rethink what it takes to navigate business challenges successfully. Please like, share, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks for watching.